Welcome to Module 9. In Module 9, our focus is on business and career development. Palm oil farming is not only an agricultural activity, it is a profitable business and a viable career path. You can decide to go into palm oil farming. So we'll look at the business and career aspect of palm oil farming. In countries like Nigeria, palm oil plays a major role in rural and national economies. It can create opportunity for farmers, processors, traders, and exporters. So beyond production, success in this palm oil industry depends on how you plan your business, how you are able to manage costs, how you strategize your marketing, and the ability to build strong customer relationships. So many farmers succeed not just because they grow oil palm, but because they understand how to run it as a structured business. So that's what this module is about. So by the end of this module, you will be able to learn, to explain how to start a palm oil business step by step. You'll be able to understand how to understand cost structures and how to make profit from palm oil farming. You will also be able to describe career opportunities in the palm oil industry and also identify effective client sourcing strategies. So that's what we are looking at in this module. All right, let's go. Let's talk about starting a palm oil business in Nigeria. Starting a palm oil business requires careful planning. All right. So in Nigeria, palm oil production offers strong opportunities due to high local demand and even growing international markets. So not only in Nigeria, if your country produces, you can decide to go into palm oil business in your country if your climatic condition, the climatic condition of your country supports it. Okay, so the first step is business planning. So the first step is starting a palm oil business is proper planning. This involves clearly defining the objectives of the business, such as whether the focus will be on farming, processing, or both. So the entrepreneur must first decide the scale of operation. Am I going small scale, medium scale, or large plantation? Okay, based on available resources anyway. So these have to be spelled out. It's also important to identify your target market, whether it is local consumers, industries, or expert buyers. So preparing a simple business plan helps you to outline expected costs, revenue, risks, and strategies for growth. This serves as a guide for decision making. All right. So the second step is land acquisition. Okay, land acquisition is a critical step because oil palm requires suitable environmental conditions, like I mentioned before, for optimal growth. So the land should be very fertile, it will have good drainage, and there should be access to water. In Nigeria, for instance, oil palm grows best in southern regions such as Delta State, Edo State, Bayelsa State, Rivers State, Cross River State, and this is due to their favorable climate and rainfall. So proper land selection ensures good yield and long-term sustainability of the plantation. The next step is capital and funding. Capital and funding. Now, adequate funding is necessary when you want to go into the business. Adequate funding is necessary to start and even sustain the business. So capital is required for land acquisition, to buy seedlings, to even employ labor, to buy equipment, and even for maintenance. So funding can come. How do you source for funding? It can come through personal savings. You can source funding from cooperative societies, or you can go for agricultural loans or government supported programs. So because access to sufficient capital can allow farmers or entrepreneurs to invest in quality inputs and adopt better farming and processing practices. The next step is farm establishment. The establishment phase involves setting up the farm for production. Okay, this includes clearing, preparing the land, establishing a nursery for raising the seedlings, and transplanting the seedlings to the field. So early maintenance practices such as watering, weeding, mulching, and even pest control are very essential to ensure healthy growth. So proper establishment determines the long-term productivity. So how you establish it will determine whether you will be in the business for a long time. Okay, so let's talk about processing setup, which is optional. Don't forget, I said you can decide to go into just planting, farming it without processing. So it's optional, it's an optional stage. But at this stage, the entrepreneur decides whether to process palm fruits into oil or sell them as raw fresh fruit bunches. So setting up a processing unit requires additional investment in equipment such as digesters, presses, and clarification systems, and even storage tanks. So processing adds value to the product and can significantly increase profit margin, but it also requires technical knowledge, and operational cost. Don't just go into it if you don't have technical knowledge and also do not have what it takes to run it. Okay, so the next step is marketing and sales. Marketing is very essential for generating income, okay, from the business. Palm oil can be sold in local markets. You can go to local markets in the community to sell your product. You can supply to industries such as food processing industries and even cosmetic industries that produces soaps. All right, so or you can distribute it through wholesalers. So entrepreneurs may also explore export opportunities if they meet required international or export standards. You can go into exporting, because effective marketing strategies help to ensure a steady demand and also profitability. Now let's talk about business expansion. Once the business is stable, expansion becomes your next goal. So this involves increasing the size of the plantation, investing in modern farming and processing equipment, and even improving production capacity. So entrepreneurs can also explore export markets to increase revenue. So expansion allows the business to grow, become more competitive, and achieve long-term sustainability. So starting a palm oil business involves a series of well-planned all these steps, from business planning to land acquisition to production to processing and even marketing. And if you do that, you can decide to expand. You can decide to expand. Now let's talk about how to cost. Understanding cost and profitability is essential for managing a successful palm oil business. It helps farmers and investors to make informed decisions, control expenses, and maximize returns. So in the palm oil sector of Nigeria, proper financial planning is particularly important due to fluctuations in production costs and even market prices. Now, types of costs you need to take note is fixed costs and variable costs. What are fixed costs? Fixed costs are expenses. Fixed costs are expenses that do not change significantly over time, regardless of the level of production. These costs are usually incurred at the beginning of the business and it remains constant. Okay, so for instance, land purchase or lease, it involves acquiring farmland for plantation establishment. So when you acquire this land or purchase this land, it becomes a major initial investment. Then cost of equipment and tools are also fixed costs. Cost for infrastructure are fixed costs too. Okay, so these costs are essential for setting up the business and must be carefully planned. Then aside fixed costs, there is also what we call variable costs. Variable costs are expenses that change. That's why they are called variable costs. They are expenses that change depending on the level of production or farm activities. For instance, if you are doing small scale, your cost can be obviously be different from someone, an entrepreneur, a farmer that want to go into a large scale. So variable costs can involve cost of seeds and seedlings. So that is seed and seedlings, what you require for planting and replanting operation. Cost for purchasing fertilizer, cost for labor. This covers wage for workers involved in your planting. So this can change over time. Even transportation costs and even managing or controlling pests and diseases. These costs are variable costs because they are not constant. They can change depending on your level of production and farm activity. Now let's talk about revenue sources. Revenue in a palm oil business is generated from multiple streams depending on the level of value addition. Where do you get your money from in this business? Income can be earned from the sale of, you can decide to go into sale of fresh fruit bunches, FFB, to processors. You just harvest the bunches and sell directly. You can also decide to go into the sale of the crude palm oil. You can say that, or you can even go into palm kernel products such as palm kernel oil and even a palm kernel cake. You see, so there are a lot of things you can get from palm oil farming. So diversifying revenue sources increase overall income and reduces financial risk. So, but making profit depends on other factors. It can depend. One major factor is yield per hectare. How much? What is the quantity you get from it? A higher productivity leads to greater output and income. Market price fluctuations can also affect your profitability. Since palm oil prices can vary depending on demand and supply conditions, processing efficiency plays a key role in determining how much oil is extracted from the fruits, while cost control ensures that expenses are minimized without affecting productivity. So, let's talk about career opportunities now. If you want to build a career as a palm oil farmer, you can decide to go into palm oil as your career. It offers a lot of career opportunities, such as you can decide to be a commercial farmer, a plantation manager. You can decide to manage a plantation for a farmer. You can become a processing plant operator, an agricultural consultant, a palm oil trader, or even an exporter. So the industry provides long-term employment and even entrepreneurship opportunities. But there are skills you need if you want to thrive. You need skills in farm management, business planning, marketing, negotiation skills, technical farming knowledge, and even financial management. So if you want to go into it, you can start small and expand gradually. You can join cooperatives where you can source for funds. Okay, you can attend training programs and also adopt modern farming practices. So how do you now source for your client? Where do you get client from, customers from? Your source of client can include local markets, wholesalers, agro industries, cooperatives, and even online. You can take advantage of online platforms. Okay, you can decide to sell your products through Facebook, through WhatsApp, through Twitter, through Instagram, through different social media platforms. So, but ensure you maintain good product quality, build strong customer relation, offer competitive price, and ensure timely delivery. So, where can you find palm oil farmers in Nigeria? You can find them in Edo, you can find them in Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa State, Cross River State, Akwa Ibom, even in north central states such as Kogi State and Benue State. You can still find palm oil farmers. Okay, you can find them where they, because, or in all those places, because the states support palm oil farming. Okay, their climatic conditions support palm oil farming. So palm oil farming is a profitable agribusiness, and career opportunity. So your success depends on proper planning, cost management, marketing, and how you are able to source for your customers. So you can decide to go into it. You can decide to go into it as a business, or you can choose that as your career path. So it offers a lot of opportunities. So that is what this module is about. Thank you.